Welcome to Conspiracist.
Hello.
Today, we're diving into a pretty fascinating and, well, persistent hypothesis.
Which is?
The idea that governments maybe intentionally have concealed evidence related to investigations into the Mandela Effect.
Ah, the Mandela Effect.
Right.
For anyone maybe not familiar, that's the phenomenon where, large groups of people share a memory.
A specific memory.
Yes, of an event or a detail that's different from what's generally accepted as, historical fact.
And the name itself, of course, comes from that shared but false memory that Nelson Mandela died way back in the 80s in prison.
Despite him living until 2013. It's a striking example.
It really is. So we've gathered quite a bit of information on this. We've looked at discussions in online communities, places dedicated to the Mandela Effect.
And also articles exploring the psychological side, the potential explanations for why these shared memory glitches happen.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to objectively evaluate the claims, specifically the claims about intentional government concealment based on the info we have.
Okay, so maybe first, let's just firmly pin down what the Mandela Effect is and maybe run through a few more examples just to get everyone on the same page.
Good idea. So it's these shared misrememberings, but across a pretty significant chunk of the population, right? Not just one or two people forgetting something.
Precisely. It's the shared nature that makes it stand out.
And the examples are everywhere, especially in pop culture, like the movie The Matrix. So many people are convinced Morpheus says, "What if I told you?"
Right. That famous line that isn't actually in the movie.
Nope. The real line is more like, "Do you want to know what the Matrix is?" Much less dramatic, maybe.
Or how about TV shows? Full House. Everyone called Jesse Uncle Jesse.
Always.
But Dave Coulier's character, Joey, the Tanner Girls, didn't actually call him Uncle Joey on screen. Not until much later in this series, apparently.
But I swear I remember hearing Uncle Joey all the time. See, that's the effect.
It is. And visuals, too. Fonzie's jacket on Happy Days. Black leather, right. Iconic.
Definitely black leather.
Wow. Actually, it started out gray, and then it was brown leather for most of the show's run.
Brown.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay, that one's new to me. But I can see how maybe other characters like Danny Zuko in Grease might influence that memory. Black leather just feels right for Fonzie.
It does. And then there's Star Wars. Maybe the most quoted misquote ever.
Gotta be Luke, I am your father.
Which is close, but the actual line is, "No, I am your father." Subtle difference, but
significant. And Snow White. Mirror on the wall.
almost. It's magic mirror on the wall.
Right. Magic mirror. Okay.
These small details, they add up.
They do. And it's not just movies. Brands are huge for this. The Berenstain Bears.
Ah, yes. The classic. Spelled S-T-A-I-N.
But lots of people remember it's Berenstein with an E.
It's incredibly common. Then there's Jif peanut butter.
Often remembered as Jiffy, maybe because of Skippy.
Could be. Brand confusion, maybe. And Looney Tunes. T-U-N-E-S.
Not T-O-O-N-S, even though they are cartoons.
Exactly. And Smokey Bear. People always want to add the gear. Smokey the Bear.
But his official name is just Smokey Bear. No,
Correct. And Fruit of the Looms logo. That's a big one. People vividly remember a cornucopia, the horn of plenty, spilling out fruit.
I definitely picture that.
But the company says, nope, never had one. It was always just the fruit. Grapes, apples.
Wow. Okay. And Oscar Mayer, sometimes recalled as Oscar-Meyer.
Yep. Another common spelling confusion. It's M-A-Y-E-R.
And Fruit Loops cereal. F-R-O-O-T.
Not F-R-U-I-T, even though it's fruit-flavored.
The spelling thing is interesting. And Mickey Mouse. Suspenders?
Often remembered with him, but he usually just wears the red shorts. No suspenders.
Okay, so those are great examples. They really cover the range of it. Movies, brands, characters, even spellings.
And people and events, too.
What?
Like Mother Teresa's canonization. When do you think that happened, roughly?
Oh, the 90s. Feels like the 90s.
A lot of people think that it was actually 2016.
2016, that
Right.
recent. Wow.
And Abe Vigoda, the actor. Yeah. Famous for, people thinking he was dead long before he actually died.
Right. That went on for years, didn't it? There were websites tracking if he was still alive. He passed in 2016, too, right?
Correct. And Sally Field's Oscar speech. You like me. You really like me.
Yeah, iconic.
Except she didn't quite say that. It was more like, I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me?
Yeah.
A bit more rambling, less punchy.
Huh. Okay. So we've established the phenomenon, lots of examples, very widespread. Now, let's get to the core question for today. The arguments for intentional government concealment. What are people saying?
Well, a key argument you see, especially in those online forums, is just the sheer number of people involved.
Like, how can so many people be wrong about the exact same detail?
Exactly. They argue that it suggests something bigger than just individual mistakes, something systemic maybe.
And the consistency is another point, right? It's not random errors. It's the same false memory cropping up across different places, different times, different groups of people.
That consistency leads some to speculate about, well, large-scale memory manipulation.
Manipulation, how?
The theories vary. Some suggest advanced technology we don't know about, others are vaguer. But the idea is that memories could somehow be altered on a mass scale.
And they sometimes draw parallels, don't they, to like known instances of government misinformation or cover-ups in history?
They do. The argument isn't necessarily, here's proof it happened with the Mandela Effect, but more like governments have misled people before, so it's not impossible they're doing something here. It makes the idea seem more plausible to some.
Okay. And what about, I've seen mentions of CERN, the Large Hadron Collider.
Yes, that comes up. Some fringe theories within these communities suggest that maybe experiments at places like CERN could be causing shifts in reality, or maybe merging parallel timelines.
Leading to these memory discrepancies.
Potentially. The idea is it might be unintentional side effects, or maybe even intentional, though the mechanism is usually unclear. It's definitely on the more speculative end of things.
And is there an argument about why a government might want to cover this up, assuming it's real, or they're investigating it?
The thinking there sometimes goes, well, if the Mandela Effect indicates that reality isn't stable or that consciousness can be manipulated, that's potentially destabilizing information.
Like, it could cause panic or undermine authority.
Perhaps. So the argument follows, a government might choose to suppress any knowledge or investigation into it to maintain control or prevent widespread anxiety. Keep the status quo.
Okay. So those are the main lines of reasoning pointing towards some kind of cover-up. The scale, the consistency, historical parallels, maybe CERN, and a motive for suppression.
Broadly speaking, yes. Those are the key threads you find in discussions suggesting concealment.
Right. Now let's pivot to the other side. What are the counter-arguments, the alternative explanations that our sources present?
Well, the vast majority of the explanations offered fall under psychology and cognitive science, and the big one is simply false memory.
Which is a known thing, right? Our brains aren't perfect recorders.
Not at all. False memory is well documented. We can create memories of events that never happened, sometimes with great confidence and detail. It's often studied with trauma, but it happens in everyday life too.
Like the brain trying to fill in gaps.
Essentially, yes. Or blending different experiences or incorporating suggestions from outside.
Related to that, you mentioned confabulation.
Yes, confabulation is slightly different. It's more about creating stories or explanations to fill memory gaps, often without any intention to deceive. The person genuinely believes the fabricated memory is real.
Okay. And source monitoring errors, what's that?
That's about remembering the information but forgetting where it came from. Did you actually see Fonzie's black jacket, or did you just imagine it or see a picture somewhere else, or did someone tell you it was black?
Ah, so you mix up the source of the memory, real versus imagined, or heard versus seen.
Exactly. And this leads into the social aspect, which is huge here.
How so?
The social transmission of false memory. Think about it. If one person misremembers Berenstain and tells someone else, who then searches online and finds others remembering Berenstain.
It spreads, like viral misinformation.
Precisely. It becomes a shared belief, reinforced through conversation, online forums, social media. It's like that game of telephone or Chinese whispers.
Where the story changes with each retelling.
Right. Research shows that repeating stories, especially in groups, can cause accurate details to drop out and false ones to creep in and become solidified as the accepted version within that group.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with the internet acting as this massive amplifier.
Absolutely. The internet is key here. It allows people with the same niche false memory to find each other easily, reinforcing the idea that it can't just be me.
Okay, what else? Suggestibility. Priming.
Yes. We're all suggestible to some degree. If someone asks a leading question, or if you're exposed to related ideas, it can shape how you recall something.
Like the Monopoly Man example. People remember a monocle.
Potentially because he looks rich and formal, and monocles are associated with that image. The overall impression primes the incorrect detail.
Got it. And collective illusions.
That's sort of like assuming everyone else remembers things the way you do. If you think mirror, mirror is correct, you might assume that's the common memory, reinforcing your own belief, even if it's wrong.
So, summing up the psychological side, false memory, confabulations, source errors, social spread, suggestibility, the internet amplifying it all.
And fundamentally, the fact that memory isn't like a video recording, it's constructive. We rebuild memories each time we recall them, using bits of real information, assumptions, general knowledge, and external suggestions.
Which means it's prone to errors.
Highly prone.
There was also a point in some discussions about a lack of new Mandela effects relating to things after, say, 2009 or 2019.
Yes, that's an observation some make online. They question why major, widely agreed upon new examples aren't constantly emerging if reality is actively shifting or being manipulated. It's used by some skeptics to argue against ongoing reality shift.
Interesting point. And of course, there's just the straightforward skeptical take.
Which is simply, people misremember things, they mishear lyrics, they make assumptions based on similar things, their memory is faulty. No conspiracy, no reality shifts, just normal human error.
Okay. So we have the arguments for concealment on one side and a whole suite of psychological and social explanations on the other. How do we evaluate the actual evidence for intentional government concealment based on the sources we looked at?
Well, the striking thing is the imbalance. The sources overwhelmingly focus on and provide support for the psychological and social explanations.
These are based on established scientific research into memory, cognition, social influence.
Exactly. Decades of research. Whereas for the government concealment hypothesis, there's really no direct evidence presented in the sources we reviewed. There are claims, speculations, theories discussed in online communities, but nothing concrete pointing to an actual government investigation being hidden or active concealment efforts.
So, no leaked documents, no whistleblowers cited in these sources, nothing verifiable about government action.
Not in the materials we examined. The discussions about potential government involvement exist, but they don't seem to be based on factual evidence of that involvement.
So the lack of evidence for the conspiracy combined with strong, plausible alternative explanations.
It significantly weakens the concealment hypothesis. From an evidence-based perspective, the psychological explanations are far more robust.
Plus, the sheer logistics of such a conspiracy seem challenging.
Extremely. Coordinating a cover-up across potentially multiple governments, involving countless minor pop culture details, keeping it secret, the complexity would be immense. And again, there's no evidence presented that suggests such an operation exists.
So while some people within the Mandela Effect communities might lean towards conspiracy,
those ideas often exist alongside, or are even debated against, the more standard psychological explanations within those same communities. It's not like there's a consensus for government conspiracy, even among those most interested in the phenomenon.
Okay, so wrapping this up then. We dove into this idea of government concealment around the Mandela Effect. We looked at the phenomenon itself, those weird shared memories.
Berenstain Bears, Luke's father, food of the loom.
Right. And we explored why some people suspect a cover-up, the numbers involved, the consistency.
But then we contracted that with the counter-arguments rooted in how memory actually works its flaws, how it's influenced socially, how the internet plays a role.
And based on the sources we looked at, the weight of evidence really falls heavily on those psychological and social factors.
It does. Well, the feeling that I know I remember it differently can be incredibly strong and compelling.
And shared by many others.
The information available points primarily towards the known mechanisms of memory and social influence. They offer a more, let's say, parsimonious explanation.
Meaning simpler, fitting the facts without needing extra unproven layers like a global conspiracy.
Exactly. The idea of government involvement, while definitely captivating, just doesn't seem to have the backing in terms of evidence within the materials we considered.
The discussions online show a whole spectrum of beliefs, for sure. But many seem to land on the more conventional explanations being the most likely.
And ultimately, maybe the most valuable thing about the Mandela Effect is what it teaches us about ourselves.
About how tricky memory is.
Precisely. How malleable it is, how much we're influenced by suggestion and by each other, and how easily collective narratives, even inaccurate ones, can form and feel absolutely true. It's a fascinating window into the mind.
Indeed. It really underscores that memory isn't just retrieval, it's reconstruction.
A constant reconstruction.
Well, this has been a really interesting exploration. Thanks for joining us on Conspiracist as we keep digging into these intersections of memory, belief, and the search for hidden truths.
Thanks for listening to Conspiracist.